Hi everyone. In today's video we'll be understanding of design of a banking application. So banking application is very important because using the banking application we can able to do any kind of banking transaction, and also we can see the dashboard of the balance sheet and everything we can able to see through the help of banking application, and anyone can send the transfer of amount to anyone, and also we can also do bill payment. We can also create beneficiaries. We can so everything can be possible using the help of banking application. So without further delay, let's get started. Let's understand there are two things. One is customer features and non-functional requirements. So in the customer features, there are first let's understand the customer features. What are the things need to cover in the customer features. So while designing a banking application, we have to take care of what are a basic customer requirement in a banking application. So I think we'll be going through one by one. First one is login or registration, right? So this is important. Then MFA or OTP authorization, multi-factor authentication or OTP authentication. So this is actually a next step. When we are logging in or doing the registration, we have to verify using this OTP, or we have to log in through the OTP or multi-factor authentication. So that is also one important thing. Then the next thing is account dashboard, right? Then balance and transaction history. Balance and transaction history, right? Then fund transfer. Then UPI or payment integration. UPI or payment integration. Then next, bill payments. The next, beneficiary management. The next, card management. The next, statements. The next, notification. Profile management. Profile management. Customer support. So basically these are the basic requirement any banking application has. So we have to think of adding all these basic features in a mobile banking application, right? These are the customer features, right? The next, let's go for the non-functional requirement. So in the non-functional requirement, basically these are not for customers, but these things will not be directly used by the customers, but these are required for the customers. Okay, so what are those things? First thing is high availability. Okay, then strong security. So these are very important things. Without these things, banking application cannot be run successfully. Strong consistency for financial transaction, right? Low latency. Then auditability. Scalability. Then disaster recovery. disaster recovery. Then fraud detection. Then regulatory compliance. Then backward compatibility. Then observability. So these 11 points are for non-functional requirement, and in the left side this is the customer features. Okay, so in a particular banking application, in any banking application, these are the basic things we need to take care, and these are must things. Okay, so now this is one thing. I think you have noted all these things, right? The next is we have let do a high level design architecture. Okay, high level architecture of banking application. So let's do some high level design. First thing is we'll create some let's do some here, this one. First thing is okay, so first thing is mobile application. It can be Android or iOS. Okay, this is step number 1. Fine. Then next is it will call the API gateway using the TLS or HTTPS. So let's do some arrow mark. Next is what? So here this call will happen through HTTP or TLS, transport security layer. Okay, so we will be calling API gateway or BFF. Fine. Let's put it properly. Then next layer is, so there are two things, authentication part, customer part, and account. Okay, that will do. Now in the mobile application, first we will be calling usually first we will do the login part, right? This is the architecture, API gateway and or BFF will be using the help of HTTP or TLS. Will be first trying to enter into the application. Now next thing is there are few things we have to take care, that is auth service. Okay, auth service, then customer service, then next is fine, auth service, then customer customer service, then account service. So service means actually what? This is basically components we can say, or module we can say. One is auth module, then customer module, then account module. Okay, so that part will be there. So this is like a high level architecture. Okay, so these after going to the application, there are major three modules are there. One is authentication module, then the customer service module, another is account service module. So we can these three things we can do some. This is one, then this is again, okay, this is one, then this is another thing, okay, or we can say this way, fine. Then next is, this is one layer actually, okay, we can say this is a one layer, fine. This particular line is a one layer, fine. Now then next is transaction service and payment service. Then next level, internal level is we have to create transaction service and payment service. This is transaction service and transaction service, and this is payment service, okay. Then next is we will draw something, the flow actually, okay. Next is the ledger or core banking system. Now whenever we are doing any transaction or payment service, then that need to be ledger. Ledger means that calculation should happen on the basis of account balance and all. So that is what the actual things. So actually what is the banking system is how, what exactly the core things about banking system, that is the transaction of money and the ledger or calculation, or that part need to be properly calculated, and then that after the transaction happened, let's say you are sending money, or you are getting the money from any other party, let's say your salary, or let's say you are getting someone from someone else, then that need to be added, that amount need to be added and recorded to the account, or whenever the amount is deducted, that amount need to be, after deduction, the deducted value need to be updated in the account, okay. So that is nothing but the ledger part or the core banking part, okay. So that need to be in the another layer. So let create the another layer, that is the ledger or core banking system, okay. Ledger or core banking system, okay. Now after that, what is happening, how these things will be done, that is using by the database, cache, broker, message. So there is another things like after these things will be done, like the ledger part, core banking system is completion, then that need to be update in the database, that need to be updated in the cache, message and all, that need to be updated to the customer as well, right. So that need to be also we have to maintain. So in the next layer is, so actually till this part the main banking system job is almost done, but after that need to be updated to the customer as well, so that other things also need to be mentioned as well. So this is one thing. Fine. Now another thing we have to do here is customer update and all. Okay, that is database. We have to do the database cache and all. So here it is kind of don't go to the meaning of this, don't worry about the meaning of the diagram. I'm just making a flow, like and also what are the things like components involved in the high level architecture of a banking application, that you try to understand. That database, then we have to use the cache after the transaction is done, then messages. Okay, so this is what we need to update. Then finally the last part is there is a layer, that outer layer, which is basically for the notification service, fraud service and analytics service, that is also there. So this is the basically, if you see this particular diagram, this is a high level architecture of banking application. So it's not about the Android, iOS or any hybrid application, it's basically the overall architecture. I mean what are the components a banking application should have in terms of mobile application. So like when the user comes to the mobile app using the HTTP or TLS, we have to hit the API gateway. API gateway will what it will do. First there are three things: authentication service, then customer service and account service. Okay, authentication service will authorize and give authentication and authorize to the customer to use into the application. Then customer service as what the customer can do, that that also can be available to the customer. Okay, then account service, like basically customer can do in the account service, there will be account specific services, like different type of accounts will be there. Customer can create a new account, saving account, current account or loan account. Customer can apply some particular account, so that kind of account services will be there. So it's a module part, right? Then once these three level, like the first level is the first layer is the primary things, like a customer has to log in, then the customer has some customer service means and then the account service. Then next is the what the customer can do, will do, basically that is the transaction service and the payment service, right? So that is the next thing. Then after any transaction service and payment service will be done, that need to be ledgered, that need to be updated, and that is what the core system will update that, and that will be verified and updated in your core banking system. That is what the core part. Then after this particular layer will be done, then the next thing is it will be updated, like using the database, cache or messages to the customer. So for that thing there is some notification service, then also additionally there will be some fraud management service and then analytics service. So these are also required on the basis of like to understand the customer behavior and all. So that is the analytics service is also required. Basically what in the banking system, what is the customer's interest, to understand that part, analytics service is also important. And also fraud service means because it is very important, because this is a we are banking application involves the monetary transaction, and if fraud service will not be there, then there is a high chance any other person can hack and take your money. So that is what the fraud service and fraud management also need to be work properly in the banking application. Notification service, anything that happen to your application or anything that happen to your account, that need to be properly monitored and notified to the customer. That is what the notification service is. So this is a high level module of a architecture of an banking application. Okay, so I think so far you have understand that. Then now we'll be understanding something on the basis of mobile architecture, like this is particularly for a high level application. Now let's understand something Android specific will be do some that will have some architecture with respect to Android specific architecture. Let's understand that also. So here let's say we have to create something now practically using the mobile Android application. So first thing will be here, let first go UI only will be starting the application. That is what the UI interaction, like in any kind of UI, means login is also a login screen is also UI, doing a registration process, that is also UI, whatever, anything can the user can interact, anything the user can see, so that is nothing but your UI, and that we have to do using the compose UI, right? Then next is state flow or events, like a user has to do something in the application, that is not user will not just see the application, user has to do something, he has to enter the credential and click on the login button or do the registration, that also user has to do. Then while sending the money to some beneficiary, user has to enter the amount and select the account, and then click on the send button, that also user has to do. Those are nothing but the events, and when the events will be fired, then the state flow will happen, right? So for that thing, there is a component we have to do, that is the view model, and view model is a component which will take the events from the UI. Okay, so first we have to do it. This is view model, this is the view model. View model is the another, it's a we can say understand it's a component of Android. So this particular discussion we are trying to understand about Android specific practical implementation. When we'll be implementing the application, what are the things we have to cover, like in a high level way. So that is what first thing is compose UI. Okay, then the view model will be the interaction happens there through the events. Now like this is a event from the compose UI, so this is nothing but our event, and it will after the event will fire, it will update that state will be getting changed, then that will happen through the state flow, right? So this is nothing but our state flow, we can say here state flow. Perfect. Yeah. The next is use cases. So now view model will get the request from the user, like what need to be what need to be done. Now view model is the first entry point. Now view model has all the things, like it can take request for send money, it can take request for add the beneficiary, it can take request to create a new account. So everything can be, the view model can take request. So definitely it has that. So there are number of use cases will be there. Okay, so for that thing, let another thing that we have to do, that is use case, right? So this is nothing but all the use cases, so it can be multiple use cases. So these are the use cases. Use cases can be example send money or add beneficiary, and then create account. So there are different kind of beneficiary, there are different kind of use cases are also will be there. So this basically come from the where, this will come from the view model, right? Correct. Yeah. Now then after this use case will be finalized, like what exactly need to do, then the next part will be the repository. Repository means that will handle the the core part. Now this request will come down to the repository. Now this is, will be creating a box that will signify the repository. Okay, so here repository is a particular interface where we have to decide what exactly need to do, that will redirect to the, and that particular thing will do the rest part, like whether need to do some call to the another service. Okay, so repository will take care of the network call, that will also update the local DB. So everything can be possible from the repository, so it will take care of the rest part here, this kind of operations like local DB or API calls. Then finally that API gateway will take care of the further part. Then next is the API gateway. So what exactly API gateway is? Now let me brief you. See, if we understand in Android application perspective, basically first from the compose UI, I mean whatever UI is, the UI can be for login UI can be for sending the money, and UI can be for adding a beneficiary. I mean that part is nothing but the UI. Then on a particular event, then view model will take care of, view model will accept that particular event, and it will after that view model will send the check to the use cases. It will send that request to use cases. There will be multiple known use cases will be there. Okay, so use cases are basically predefined. It's not like randomly we can do anything. So as per the request, customer's request, this will be check here what need to be done. Then that particular, as per that particular use cases, it will then the request will come to the repository. So in the repository, that will decide what exactly, whether we need to do some network call or anything need to be do in the local database. So that again again will go to the API gateway, like what exactly, because mobile application is what, it's a client only, but actually the actual things happen in the server part. Okay, so server is another place where we have to, the request has to be redirect to a particular particular API gateway. Then only the operation will happen in the backend side. Then after that, that will again come back. The response will come back through the another response of this API gateway. Then again it will redirected, and again it will flow, and the state will be updated for the customer's UI. Let's say we are sending the customer has login to send 1000 money to someone else. Then after the final transaction happen, it will come back, and the view model will get the response done, and it will update the UI as well. So that happens the state flow. State flow means it is the updated data that need to be updated in the UI as well, because after the 5000 will be deducted, the amount also need to be updated in the balance. So that is what the state means. It's a data, we can understand, that has to be updated. Okay, so this is how, this is a we can say high level understanding of the banking application in Android application perspective or Android perspective. So I hope you understand this particular like concept. Like we have first, let me go you through again. So first we understand this, first we know what are the customer features and non-functional requirement of a banking application. Then we understand the high level architecture of the banking application. Okay, then we have gone through Android specific what should be the flow of a banking application, right? So this is what this particular video is all about. If you think this video helps you, then please share to others and subscribe to the channel. And I'll be if you understand more about this particular architecture and more detail about that, then also I'll be bringing another video with a detailed explanation of other things. And that's it for this that's it in this particular video, and I will see you in the next, and thank you for watching.